I'm Ross Garfield with Drum Doctors. Today I'm working for Guitar Center here in my warehouse in Los Angeles, and we're going to be talking about some snare drums. As you can see behind me, I have quite a few, but none more popular than this one sitting right here on the stand. This is a 1980 TAMA Bell Brass. I've had 12 or 13 of these drums over the years. This is the best one that I've had. I think they were using a better quality brass when they poured this one. It has characteristics that most of the other bell brasses try to achieve. And it's made its way onto quite a few big records that have sold 10, maybe even 20 million copies. This drum came to me with a knock at my door. Somebody needed to pay his rent, and he had this drum, and came in. I hit it a couple times, and it sounds pretty good, so I bought it. And after he left, I changed the heads on it, and I said, man, this is going to be good. So at that point, I took it apart and did my modification series to the drum, where I redo the edges and silence the insides of the lugs and a few little tricks like that. When I got this drum, it had the bell brass hoops on it as well, but I took those off and put on the Gretsch die casts. It makes it easier to tune this drum lower. The original hoops, the die cast, are heavier and stiffer. This drum has a lower voice to it with these hoops on it. Once I get a drum sounding this good, I don't change it. Back in the day when I started renting this out, the early 80s, we would audition snare drums, and someone would say, put the Black Beauty up or put the Superphonic up. And then they'd say, put up that heavy drum. Or they'd say, put up the Schwarzenegger model. And then I was working with one band right during the time that the Terminator movie came out with Schwarzenegger in it. So somebody nicknamed this one the Terminator. This is the drum that was used on Nirvana's Nevermind record. We got the call to work on Nirvana's demo tapes. At that point, they were using Dave's drums, which was I believe it was a TAMA set like this, Art Star 2s, and they wanted a different snare sound. So we sent this drum up there because I knew that this drum won a lot of auditions, and we may have sent a few others, but this one won that audition. And then when they wound up recording the record at Sound City, they asked for this drum back. I do remember hanging out long enough to remember the guys in the band and their demeanor. And this was the beginning. These guys were not rock stars by any means at that point. I got the feeling they were, sleeping on the floor somewhere. And they felt lucky to be in the studio. Dave always gave it all he had. He hit the drums with every bit of strength that he could. And the sessions went real well. And it was one of those things where you don't realize you're being part of history until after it happens. And that happens quite a bit with me. I get involved with a project, and I give it my all every time. I come in, I want it to be so good that people talk about it. After the Nirvana record, I wound up doing quite a few other projects with Dave. We did at least one record with Tenacious D. I did a date with him for Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, which he must have been very excited about working on that project, because when I went back to pick up the drums, there were broken cymbals and the bass drum pedal was broken. The snare drum heads were broken. It looked like a typhoon went through my drum set. On the Foo Fighters Color and the Shape record, it was done at Grandmaster Recorders in Hollywood. And we had two sets set up in two different rooms. One was sort of a more intimate room, and the other was a stage set up in the back of the studio where they parked the cars. So it's like a parking garage, but they had a stage back there, and they put mics on the drums back there as well. So we had two sets set up, And depending on which song it was, they went for one sound or the other. But I definitely had this drum on that as well. And once a drummer tells me that they're happy with one of my sets or certain drums, I tend to bring the same stuff back to them, just so that it's consistent. And I know if they were happy with it one time, they'll be happy with it another time. One thing I want to point out is with any drum sound, it's not just the drum, it's not the drum tech, it's not the engineer, it's not the producer. That everybody plays a part, but the drummer is a big part of that. And the way a person hits the drum is going to make a big difference. If you're winding up and hitting the drum as hard as you can, it's going to sound differently than somebody who's playing lighter. And it's even more than that. I think it comes down to, the stick you're using, the density of your bones in your arms. I think all that comes into play to some degree. It's hard for me to not sound like I have favorites, but every once in a while you get an instrument that no matter what you do with it, it sounds good. I can put any head on this drum and it's going to sound good. Right now, it's just a used coated Ambassador, and it sounds wicked good. If I put a black dot on this, it'd probably make it sound a little lower, but it would sound wicked good too. The more drums you look at, the more you realize a great one when you hear it and play it. It's really had quite a history. One day I'll find out all the records that it has been recorded on, and that would be a long list. I've retired this particular drum because it's got such a track record. I'm afraid to leave it in the studios anymore. Johnny Depp was talking about buying it as a gift for Dave. I've had quite a few offers for this drum, and I've been tempted, but haven't sold it yet.